Welcome, everybody, to the Mystical Success Club call. It is the 28th of March, 2009. However, if you are listening to this tomorrow or in 10 years' time, there's only NOW, now. And it was very interesting because I had an experience once where it was as if I had heard that there's only now. You know, we've all heard that, correct? That there's only now. That there's no time and space in eternity. That what we think we experience as time is actually an illusion. And that illusion can seem very real because we have schedules and the sun comes up and the sun goes down and we feel our bodies, even if we don't feel it in our mind, we can see that age progresses in the body. So time is a very challenging thing to do anything but to intellectualize isn't real. Do you guys agree with that? Yeah, so it's like, it's a challenge, right, to think of time as an illusion. Time feels very real. So I had this experience and it came to me without my asking for it. I'd been affirming, when we practice meditation and we more and more unite and have more and more moments of really uniting with the presence as one. And we feel that light of eternity through us. And our love in our heart is so united with all of life that it's almost impossible. Well, it is impossible to describe it in words. It's so deep. Everyone, everything you see, you are literally in love with. And that's just a glimpse of the love that is expressing through us. That's only a tiny glimpse. And when we are first in love romantically with someone, or when we first have a child, so to speak, or even a little puppy, we feel intense love. We feel like we have more energy than we could ever use in a million lifetimes because the love is so real, you can feel it. Well, if you want to add that like a zillion times to eternity plus, that's the love that's pumping through us. There is no one in the world who cares more about our prosperity, our health, our happiness than God in us, than our higher self. So I was having one of these moments of such love. And I had a complete realization of now, of the moment. And time was really an illusion. And I just rewrote the book. It's being reprinted, Become a Magnet to Money Through the Sea of Unlimited Consciousness. And I put it in the book. And the only way it could come to me was, it's a continuous moment. We are having a continuous moment. And these moments, every single moment that we're in, if we can do our best to be in a continuous moment, then we're so grateful for every moment that it's absolutely just blissful. So every single thing that we do, because we've been speaking about this month in March about doing things in that certain way, taking actions one moment at a time, being in the moment for each action, not projecting into the future of what we need to do for the rest of the day, not thinking in the past of our past and not letting our past be a precedent for our future, but totally being involved in that moment with such joy that we've been allowed to be the servant. You know, we are the servant, we are the child, we are the playmate of eternity, of God expressing through us. And then we really do, we start to release the fears, because the fears truly only live in the past and they only live in the future. Remember when Ray Justice was on one of our phone calls and he was doing his beautiful poetry. He was talking about how he was speaking to someone who had was going through mourning and was extremely depressed. And Ray, being the sort of soul that he is, he's sort of soul who has so much compassion and yet wisdom and strength to be there for anyone in any moment. People come to him from all over Rochester, all his family, people, even his daughter had her friend come to him for advice when they were just teenagers. This is the sort of soul he is. And he said to his friend who was he was having lunch with, who ended up laughing and giggling with him, and he said, "So, how do you feel now?" And she said, "Well, I'm really upset and, blah, blah, blah." And he said, "No, how do you feel now?" And she looked at him and she said, "Right now, you mean this minute?" And he said, "Yes, this moment." And she said, "Well, I feel good, I feel happy." And he said, "Well, that's where you've got to stay, in that moment. Because it's only when we project into the future or think in the past that we are in fear and let our old tapes then let them, end up being the power that controls our future." Now, saying that, we're going to be doing an exercise today, a visualization of our future self. So, not to sound contradictory, but what we're going to be doing today is an exercise. So whoever ends up listening to this later, I suggest that you, right now, because it's only right now that you're listening to this, that you get yourself into a quiet place. Time is an illusion. So the past and the present and the future are all folded into now. We can literally change how we felt about the past and the future by what we do now. So even if we're doing a visualization practice, even though intellectually it would seem logically as if we're projecting into the future, what we're actually doing in this moment right now is creating a more powerful future or more powerful continuous nows. This year, this is only the third month of this year, but really on the 20th or the 21st of March at the equinox, that's truly when we have our new year. That equinox is like this new year. There's a new power that comes into the planet, particularly now. It's very, very powerful. And it's like the veils of illusion are opening up for anyone who wishes to connect to this power. And the power is love, the power is God. We can create through these moments, through our minds, but allowing the God essence, the power that we truly are, to flood through. And when we do this, we really stop looking at the appearance of things right now. We know that, like, I'll give you an example from my own experience right now. There are things that I have been doing in the last few years that were planting positive seeds for our own Musivation business. And I would plant these seeds no matter what they were, whether they were doing a new product, writing a book, doing an email, coming up with an idea for a project in the future. And we have those moments then all of those seeds that we have planted, even when other people didn't see what was going on in the ethers, in the universe, are all working when we are coming from trust and living in that moment and practicing meditation, our unity with spirit. Well, we come to a time where opportunities and the right people and the right circumstances all seem miraculously to appear all at once. And you get all the right phone calls and all the right opportunities and all the right situations that just happen one after another, so that your dream, you're living in the moment of wanting to be of service and, of course, wanting our lives to be clearer, healthier, wealthier, happier, so that we can be more clear vehicles for God and express our work, no matter what it is.